Because perfectionism doesn't announce itself as fear, it presents as excellence. And that's exactly what makes it so difficult to see and so costly when it goes unexamined. Let's start with a definition because most people think perfectionism means wanting things done well. It doesn't. Perfectionism is the belief that your worth is contingent on your output. And I'm going to repeat that. It's a belief that your worth is contingent on your output, that you are valuable because you produce excellent work, and therefore anything less than excellent is a threat, not to the project, but to you. That's a crucial distinction. A leader who wants things done well can recognize good work. They can delegate clearly and accept that 85% is often good enough. A perfectionist leader cannot, because accepting good enough feels like accepting that they are not. The inner critic drives this. In episode 1, we talked about how the inner critic forms in childhood as a protective mechanism that criticizes you before anyone else could. Many perfectionists grew up in environments where love, approval, or safety were contingent on performance, on behavior. The inner critic learned if I keep the standard high enough, no one can reject me. That worked once, twice, in an environment where your worth was being evaluated by others. But now you are a leader, and the standard you're using on yourself, you are now applying to every person on your team, which means the inner critic isn't just shaping how you see yourself, it's shaping how you see them. It's also shaping your organization. Let's reflect. If you need to stop this to get yourself a journal or some writing notes, please do. First reflection. I want you to think of the last time someone on your team brought you something that wasn't quite right. What was your internal response? And how quickly did it arrive? At Influens, we work with leadership teams using structured psychometric and 360-degree assessment tools. And when we look at leaders who score high on perfectionism measures, we see a consistent cluster of behaviors reported by their team. Teams describe these leaders as rarely satisfied even with strong work, reluctant to delegate, and when they do, they redo the work anyway, slow to celebrate wins, quick to identify what's missing, creating an environment where people are afraid to make mistakes. And here is what matters most. Psychological safety scores in these teams are significantly lower. Psychological safety, Amy Edmondson's research at Harvard has documented this extensively. It's the single strongest predictor of a team learning, innovating, and having high performance. It's the belief that you can take risks, ask questions, and make mistakes without being punished. Perfectionist leaders systematically undermine psychological safety, not intentionally, but their message, their behavior sends, however, unconsciously is. Your work is never quite good enough. And when people feel that message, they stop taking risks. And I hate to say this, but what comes to mind is the movie The Devil Wears Prada with Meryl Streep. And here is a perfect example. No one is good enough. Whenever somebody enters the office, she gives that look up and down, constant judgment. You get the idea. People will stop bringing ideas before they're polished. They stop asking for help and production drops. The perfectionist leader, ironically, is producing the very outcome they fear the most, a team that underperforms. So that's exactly what happens, and they contribute to it. I've seen this in assessment after assessment, as well as my work with individual leaders doing executive coaching, as well as with team performance. The leader who works the hardest on the team, who genuinely cares more than anyone, who believes their standards are protecting the organization, that leader is often the one creating a culture of quiet disengagement because the inner critic cannot be satisfied. And a team that cannot satisfy their leader eventually stops trying.